Hello everyone, this is Fans Politics Asia and this is the conclusions. The situation report has already been out, so it's the Frontline Changes report, and I have no inspiration for the title. And yeah, I gave it the poor title and the viewership is shit. So can you guys don't be so superficial? Just click. Please don't care about the title that I put. So there's always important information. So no, but yeah, whatever man. Yeah. You guys always want me to prostitute the videos for you guys to click it. Then complain about clickbait. I give decent title, cannot. No, must have clickbait title, then people click. So anyway, um, so let's go into the conclusion. It's going to be a chill session as usual. Conclusions are chill session. We come here and chill, but don't be too chill. You see, I caught a cold, so the past two videos I'm with my towel, my blanket kind of towel blanket thingy, and yeah, I feeling slightly better now. So yeah, so I don't have that towel blanket thing. So let's go into some of these important issues that happened over the past 36 hours, so the past half a day. So this is the latest mapping. Actually, this is the 16th of September map. This is the current situation. This is the latest mapping. All the latest information is already entered in, but of course we will also review the situations in the past day as well. So one of the main thing I would say is the situation over at Kursk. The Ukrainians are really determined to not be made a fool of themselves in the Kursk region, and they are expanding their operations around here. They are heavily counter attacking the Russian forces. So in the Grushkovo region, they are fighting now. They have a new place they are attacking, which is the Krasno-Oktябrьske, which is interesting because there's already a Krasno-Oktябrьske around here. So this Krasno-Oktябrьski, this Krasno-Oktябrьskoye. So the Russians also have this problem. So they have attack here. The fighting over at Veseloye still remains. The fighting reported at Medvedye still remains. So and the Ukrainians are currently counter-attacking over at Byakovo, over at Abukovka, and they also attacking at Viktorovka, and they are also attacking at where's this place? Actually, I can't see. Lyubimovka. So the Ukrainians are counter-attacking all these places. There is still clashes over in Malaya Loknia. So the Ukrainians are really trying their best in this thing. However, we have the latest information from the Russian Defense Ministry, which is the announcement of the capture of Uspenovka. So, which is interesting because in their same report, they say that the Ukrainians are attacking in these various locations, Bukovka, Byakovo, as well as Viktorovka, which means that the Russians actually progress from this area from Godievka, and they actually made this capture probably around here. But we are not changing the mapping just yet because for the Kursk region, I would like to follow the sources, either the pro-Russian or the pro-Ukrainian sources for the mapping change for now at this moment. But if I think that they are shitty, then I will just probably adjust the mapping according to what I think is likely to be the case. Because I don't want to go ahead of myself, because there's always a possibility that the Russian Defense Ministry announce wrong information, because that happened before. So no, I don't want to run the risk of mapping things that actually didn't happen. So the best is through geolocation. That's of course the best thing. So the Ukrainians are trapping the Russians, and the Russians are making limited movement. However, we just have confirmation of Russian forces pushing over in Bukovka, sorry. So they are definitely developing this region here. So the Russians the Russians are still pushing, and there might be a possibility that there is fighting reported at Novo Ivanovka. So based on the latest Russian reporting, there might be some kind of progress around here that we are not seeing. So we're not sure how this developed. There's a case where this region here might be now under Russian control. There's a high possibility that this is actually the case. So I just want to highlight that based on the Russian reporting, this seems to be the case. They didn't say anything. They just say that there is fighting reported at Novo Ivanovka. so which is on the different paragraph from the shelling report. So that's interesting. And the Ukrainians, so during the sit rep, I'm not sure if you have watched the situation report on the DPA war channel. The Ukrainians have this cope where they claim that there is a Russian forces, in this gray zone, and the Ukrainian front line has already moved on. And in the latest update from Deep State UA, the cope is now complete because they literally cope. See, they basically say that this settlement has always been in the operational encirclement, and they say that they are now able to completely surround recently. So they say that from the first day the enemy is already in operation encirclement. So recently they completed the full encirclement. But yet this full encirclement, from time to time, the Russians can still break through to bring in food, ammunition, and whatnot. Which is not an encirclement. You don't call an encirclement that is able to break out. That is not an encirclement. So this is weird. And then they say that there was reports of them clearing Kreminoe, but yet the Russians are still there. Somehow they're still there. And then he said that in the first day it was due to someone in the infantry, probably Ukrainian, where they shot the commander in at point blank range. So I'm not sure. I think this is talking about themselves, the Ukrainian side. So then now they say that they are unable to do the mopping operations because it will take a lot of forces and resources. But yet they say that the Russians are trapped there and conducting defensive actions. So I'm not sure what they're talking about. They are saying impossible things. So which means that from this kind of statement, as I mentioned in the situation report, the Russian forces probably actually still have control over Kreminoe, and the Ukrainians were never here. They never really broke through to this area here. This is what I think. The Ukrainians are still only on the outside. They try to incur inside, try to pincer it. They are unable to hold positions over there. And then they do escape. Then the Russians still manage to resupply and bring in food and whatnot. So that's probably what's happening. So I did mention this in the situation report, but no. It's just that this new information just confirmed that it is a massive cope, and so that story don't make sense. So I don't think that's the case. They just clearly have never encircled it at all. As per the DPS mapping, they have never encircled it. They were fighting around it because they were trying to attack through the countryside, but that is not encirclement. They're just traveling around. So they don't have, if you don't hold position, how do you encircle? It's like, you siege a castle, but every weekend you go, everyone just leave and go for parties. What kind of siege is that? It doesn't work. It's not right. So yeah. So whatever it is, yeah, I'm here to tell you as it is. No, this is just wrong. No. So anyway, other than that, we still have a situation at Malaya Loknia. So let's see how this develop. But there's a high chance that now even all their stories is going to be bullshit, because if, let's say, my theory is correct, because Russian forces previously was geolocated on Kalinov, traveling down the road towards Kremyannoe. So, and then if Kremyannoe, as per my theory, is that they are under Russian control, and then they are indeed attacking at Novo Ivanovka region, then the front line may actually look like this. This entire region could just be pure misinformation. So this entire capture, or this entire claim in this northern flank here, could just be just cope, because there's no indication or geolocation or anything to suggest that the Ukrainians actually have traveled this far north. Just don't have. So it's just not reality. The last geolocation of Ukrainian forces this far out was weeks ago. Long time ago. So yeah, then given the fact that the Russian forces are attacking so strongly over in this area, the Ukrainian forces can't possibly hold a position at the Ogovka. How would the Russians push in this direction and not push out from Karanevo? I don't think so. I think they are already pushing, probably drive down the road, which is why there is fighting at Novo Ivanovka. So That's what I think is happening. So there is no I don't think there's encirclement. The information just don't make sense. So it is what it is. And leaving Kursk alone, there is the threat towards Oreo is probably gone. The amount of shelling reported in this region here, in the Kursk region, has went to very, very little. The previous day's report, so let me show you the previous day's report. There's only one. That's Yampil. So in the latest report from the Russian Defense Ministry, there's only Esman. So I don't think there is much forces here. I believe what happened is that the Ukrainian forces have actually rediverted from the Khrushchev region to support the operation over at the Khrushkovo region. So which is over here. So they have been diverted to do the offensive into the Khrushkovo region because they need a save. They need to save their operation in Kursk, because if they don't react and don't attack in this region here, they're not going to be able to save the Kursk front. So this is what they are trying to do now, but I think it looks like a massive failure at this moment, because after three days or 4 days, they're still here. This as far as they went. That's quite pathetic, you know. So the first attack was reported on the 13th, and we are now on the 17th. Novi Put was attacked on the 12th. So the offensive actually started, the counter offensive started on the 12th. We're now on the 17th, 16th, and now it's the 16th, 4 days in, and the front line have not exactly changed much. They probably more or less at the same place. From the latest geolocation to the front line, there's only 2.5 kilometers at most. From Medvedze to the border is also 2.5 kilometers. They are basically within the buffer zone. They didn't really break through, so the operation probably have failed by now. So no, if you're pro-Ukrainian, I'm not throwing wet blankets at you, but I just want you to realize this is likely the situation, so that you don't get emotional damage later. No, just accept that situation is not well. There's no offensive operations that get stuck for so long, especially this was a surprise attack supposedly, and to counteract this main counteroffensive. So yeah, you can see that the original Russian counteroffensive, they managed to capture the entire Snagos region within 3 days. So this is, so no, when there's a major offensive, the initial days must be a heavy punch, and this heavy punch must really punch through. If they cannot punch through, then it will fail, because the forces will only get weaker as you fight. It doesn't get stronger as you fight usually, unless you're throwing more and more troops. But if you look at Stalingrad, the Battle of Stalingrad, both sides throwing more and more forces at it. There's no change. Stalingrad was a massive stalemate. So it's always the initial punch that is it has to be the most powerful. So so we move away from Kursk. I'm very sick of Kursk now, because it feels very cursed. So in the rest of Ukraine, the Russians seemingly is launching some kind of a major offensive across multiple front lines, and I cannot 100% per se be sure, because there is not enough information, but the amount of reports of fighting is just immense. So we go through some of the major ones. One of the major ones is of course Pichane region, with the Russian forces capturing this area here towards Kolesnikivka and Krylyakivka, and this is very dangerous for the Ukrainians, because the major crossing over at Sinkove and Krylyakivka cannot fall. If this fall, this will alter the strategic situation and the strategic posture in this region here, and it will look horrible. It will look like this. It will look like okay, I use this. There will be one salient and another group over here. Going down. That will look horrible, right? And then you have the river going through like this, and then the Russians have control, and then the two groups got cut. No, they cannot support each other. They have to go around. Yes, you can theoretically say that they can actually pincer, but no, given what we are seeing, we know that they can't do it. They can't possibly do this action. So the This is not good. No, for the Ukraine's operation, this is not good, and it will just lead to the collapse of the entire Kupiansk front. So this is a very concerning thing, and the Russians are really pushing in this area here. They are pushing in multiple directions. Oops, sorry, I'm trying to find the right zoom. So they are pushing, of course, towards the Kursk River. So there's the Osk River around here. They are pushing towards Lozova, Stemakivka region, and Drievka region. They are pushing out all in these directions. So this is really, really concerning for the Ukrainians, and it's something that something you should take note of if you, especially you're pro-Ukrainian. And this entire line here is also very active, but we don't have much things to really point to whether there is some kind of progress, because there's just not enough information. Russian forces has been attacking Sverdlovsk, Chernichkina, they're attacking Druzhlyabivka, they're attacking Kharkivka, Mykievka. They are attacking. Previously I think we have one Kopanki as well. So the Russians are pushing the entire line around here, and yeah, something must be happening. And there are some that is a bit more obvious, like in the Sivers front, Russian forces continue to insist fighting at Sivers and Zvanivka, and this continues to make perfect sense if you believe the Russians' statement about the capture of Sperne, Ivano-Darivka, and Vimka. And this will mean that the front line is now like this. Thus, the Russians are able to attack Sivers and Zvanivka. And in the latest information, we also have a fighting reported, in the Sverdlovsk region, Vesekivka region, and it looks bad. It looks like the Russians are really pushing very hard. Of course, Volkovokanyamske, they are pushing pretty hard in this region as well. And the Ukrainians would have to really, hold the line. I'm not sure if the Russians are really serious about capturing Sivers, because this is a perfect place to keep the supply line, the logistic line, super stretched. This is the furthest point from Poland in the Ukraine war right now. So this is the furthest point in the war right now. You can see how far this is. This is the furthest point from where the resupplies come from. So this is ongoing. The Russians also, in the latest report, have break through the canal, heading towards Tuposhki. And this is massive as well. That means that there must be some kind of major offensive that's currently happening, and this also answers to some of our hypotheses that the Russians may actually already taken the entire canal region. This is our hypothesis previously, right? So now it seems like this could be the case, because this sudden break, this area here, this is huge. We are talking about a frontline change of like more than 3 kilometers, 3.5 kilometers. How can 3.5 kilometers of progress totally unreported? That's totally undetected. This entire advance is 3.5 kilometers and it's undetected. Totally unreported by anyone. This is ridiculous, right? The Russian forces in this geolocation raised the flag in the forest along the road. So this is not just shelling report. This is literally the Russians showing off that they are in the region, which then bring credence to the reports about fighting in the Proteshne region. And we have fighting at Proteshne region for some time already, which means that there's a high chance that the Russians even have an advanced line, possibly across the canal, attacking towards Proteshne along with the fighting over here at Stuposhki. And then it does answer into the why is there always fighting being reported at Proteshne region by the Ukrainian Defense Ministry. So we are looking at some kind of a major collapse of the front line that is totally unreported, and I think it will be pretty shocking when it comes. The same problem we have over at Skibinivka, where the Russians continue to insist there is fighting reported over here. And of course, without the capture of this area of Thorax, they can't be fighting reported at Skibinivka. And this is reported by the Russian Defense Ministry. Previously, these are also reported by the Ukrainian side. So there is a lot of weird stuff. Like, Ukrainians are talking about Dashne. Our front line haven't even reached Dashne at all. So the mappings are lagging. I just want to let you know this is the sign that the mapping is lagging. It's not just DPA's mapping, it's everyone's mapping. So there's just the major lack of information, because during military operations, information is to be kept secret. This is called operational discipline, or information discipline, where you have to keep secret of all the information so that you do not reveal, any operational secrets that is currently happening. So, and this salient surprisingly is still not closed yet, which is unbelievable. Like, I would imagine the front line already is like this by now, but somehow this seems to be still the mapping now. So these are all signs that the mapping is lagging seriously behind reality. So this is just something that I want to note. So, and the Russians also made major progress towards Katerinivka, with this massive spike in the south of Konstantinivka moving towards Katerinivka, and the capture of Katerinivka would cause the Ukrainians to have to give up the defense around Konstantinivka. They will have to withdraw because the Russians could flank them from the rear positions, and this would of course leads to massive problems, because there is a major defense line around here. The Russians could basically just go to the rear positions and cut off their resupply and reinforcement route. So this is also massive. If the Russians manage to capture Katerinivka, it will lead to some very, very serious problems. And the Russians are still pushing from Vodiane towards Bohov-Yefelenka. So this is currently happening. The Russians have not captured Zolotaneva yet, surprisingly. So there is still some movement before we can see the pincer complete. So let's see how this continue to progress. Bohov-Yefelenka falling will be disaster for the Ukrainians as well, because the Russians could just cut up north and fight in this region, causing massive withdrawals from this entire chain of settlements. So there's a lot of strategic considerations. And then we also have no major signs of some kind of operations around in Zaporizhia region. There was fighting over and over Danilivka in the previous SIPRAP, if you have probably watched it. And there was fighting reported at Zerbianki, there is Kayamsky, there is Byatikaki. So something is brewing, but the offensive has not started yet in the Zaporizhia front. So something is not normal. And suddenly we have the report of massive shelling back in the Kursk region. Shelling reported in all these various locations. This is all the latest report. I'll talk more about it in the situation report. But these are all unusual signs. So I just want to highlight all these things in the conclusions. This is just analysis. And hopefully you'll find this useful. I don't want to drag it on any longer. This is already pretty long. So, and okay, just one last point about Kursk. The Ukrainians are sending their air force to support the Kursk operation in their counter offensive, and there is footage of I think airstrike. This is an airstrike, if I'm not wrong. Yeah, it's an airstrike on the building in Vasiloye, and however, so this is a sign that the Ukrainians are using the air force to support. But in yesterday's SIPRAP or in the latest SIPRAP that I published a few hours ago, the Russians announced that they have shot down 2 Sukhoi 27s and 1 MiG-29. And in the latest report, another MiG-29 was shot down. So I just want to highlight, the Ukrainians may use their airstrikes, but it does comes with a cost. So anyway, thank you for watching. Do press the like button, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next update.